All right, we're good.
Good.
Why is that happening?
Is that you?
Cool.
Hello.
It's yours.
Wait, what was it? Hello?
Oh, no.
There are double connections going on there.
Maybe it's FairTV. Ooh.
This is strange.
What is going on with Tom?
Is it,
I think it's called. Oh, no, it's.
That's a laptop.
Hey, I am the luckiest man in the world. What's it? Gary Cooper. I mean,
Are we sure it's not everybody?
It's Town of Fairfield. I think somebody's connected, so you have to kind of mute that one. Is it your laptop?
No. I have it on mute.
Disconnected. Your laptop. That's the only one. The Town of Fairfield is a problem with it.
yeah. Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Do you remember that?
All right.
Lou Gehrig's story?
I remember. Well,
You remember.
I don't think I remember.
Today, I am the luckiest man
It's number 5.
Yeah, that's.
of the earth.
Yes.
All right, we're good.
Sure? Oh, yeah.
All right.
Was that all recorded?
Yes.
You edit that out? Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen, Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. Can we all rise and be led by Mega Jane in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Item number 3, to hear updates from the first selectman. The first thing I just want to update people on is we are making great progress with the Water Pollution Control Authority investments. Getting a thumbs up from John Bodie. At the last Board of Selectmen approval, we approved some major projects for that are going to take us through the next few years. Rebuilding or putting in new pump stations, fixing infiltration and inflow in some of our, in some of our parts of our collection system, and doing some major equipment rehab and replacement at the plant. And that's about $30 million was approved at the Board of Selectmen. Last night at the Board of Finance, it was approved. It had previously been approved. These projects had been approved by the WPCA. One more step is the RTM. Once that happens, hopefully they'll approve it, and then we can go out to and get in-depth designs and get more solid numbers and plan. Number 2 is we made some significant changes in the way we manage our cash in town. We had large sums, over $100 million in one regional bank that was uninsured, and it's not a position that I felt comfortable with, or the people that work with me felt comfortable with. So we have moved significant amount of cash into custody accounts and investing those in treasuries. Plan going forward will be to move some of the treasury funds that were invested into a laddered treasury bonds that will mature and provide the cash flow and the timing that we need. And a lot of the work that going forward will be ensuring that we have cash flow projections so we can appropriately ensure that our liquidity is there for the expenses that we need to pay each week. The third thing I want to mention is the charter revision. It's my plan, and was never shy about this, that we have to revise the charter, and I wanted to do it in this year, which means actually getting it done next year. So it's really a year-long process that involves putting a commission in place, getting them the advice they need, and then they have almost a year to make recommendations before they're voted on at an annual election. I had put in $100,000 in the budget, which was cut by the Board of Finance because they felt we're so busy with so many initiatives that we should hold off a year. And my feeling is that that most of that work is not done by me or the administration. It really is an independent commission. So the work that we're doing shouldn't be a factor, in my opinion. And so I'm going to appeal to put that $100,000 back in the budget. And that would go. That's got to be my appeal, together with Attorney Pierce. Will be done over the next 2 days, and it would be up to the RTM to approve or not approve it, and then it'll be up to them. Item number 4, resignations. David E. Dombrowski, Republican, has resigned from the Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee, and we will be looking to replace him in the near future. Thank you, David, for your work. David got busy and can't give this the attention it deserves. Parks and Recreation, Robert M. Jimison, the 4th, Republican, resigned March 20th, 2024, and will be replacing Robert as well. And thank you, Robert Jimison, for your work. Item number 5. Oh, sorry.
Just a request, being that we had gone through a lot of our appointments already, if this could just appear in the newsletter that there are openings now at these 2 commissions. I think that might be helpful, just so residents know that there's an opportunity. If either of these commissions are of interest to them, they can apply online.
Thank you. Yes.
And thank both of these gentlemen for their service to our town.
Thank you. Item number 5, Purchasing Authority. To hear, consider, and act on authorizing the Purchasing Authority to enter into the proposed master agreement with Yankee Electric of Fairfield, Connecticut, to provide labor, materials, equipment, and all else necessary to perform inspection and on-call maintenance electrical services in municipal buildings within the town of Fairfield per town bid 2024-61 and the Yankee Electric bid submission dated April 3rd, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. Adam.
Hi, Adam Tulin, Purchasing Director. There's not a lot to say about this. There's not a specific project right now. This is sort of the first of what will probably be several of these master agreements that we've talked about here and there. So the idea being we've got a contractor lined up with basically codified labor rates and material markup rates that for sort of small and medium-sized jobs, we can just utilize them and maintenance issues come up. So we'll be looking to do this on more services as we move along. So this is just, like I said, this is just the first.
Any questions or comments?
And for all town buildings, that includes the schools as well?
That's a good one.
I didn't think so.
Sorry.
We'll have to follow up. It's certainly available to them. I'm just trying to think if they have their own separate one.
Well, and I know that they may not need it, just the staff that they have. But if an emergency comes up, it would be available to them.
Yeah, I assumed it wouldn't be something they would need, but I don't know why I assumed that.
Yeah, it's indicated in the bid, but just for your knowledge, this contract can only be used for projects up to $100,000. Anything beyond that would need to go out to bid as its own project.
Okay.
As the state prevailing wage threshold, it made sense to have that be the limit.
Awesome. Any questions or any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye. Unanimous, or passes. Thank you, Adam. Adam. Item number 6, to hear, consider, and act on authorizing the purchase authority to enter into the proposed agreement with Ty and Bond of Shelton, Connecticut for design and traffic engineering services related to state project number L050-0004 pedestrian improvements along Kings Highway and related to state project, and Tungus Hill Road per town RFP 2024-49 and Ty and Bond a fee proposal dated March 3rd, 2024. The base contract covers tasks 1 through 5 for a proposed lump sum fee of $241,500. Funding for this project is available in account 22505030-57049, Kings Highway Pedestrian Lot SIP Grants. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Adam and Brenda's on as well. Would you like to take
Yeah,
this?
I'll start it off, and
Okay.
I see Bill Hurley's on, and also Mega is here from engineering,
Yeah.
if there's any project questions. And I believe the next item is even a line longer than this one, so good job reading all that. Yeah, so this was actually an interesting procurement experience for me. It was my first time utilizing this process through the state, where we, instead of doing, the two options for this funding are you do your own QBS process, RFQ to RFP, or we can utilize the state's Connecticut DOT list of pre-qualified vendors who've already gone through their RFQ process and solicit proposals from them. That's a list of 64
firms that were sent out.
64 engineering firms. We only got one response from Ty and Bond, but we were satisfied with them after reviewing it. And they also successfully completed the earlier phases of this project. We did reach out to a handful of firms.
4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, didn't really get any good reasons why they didn't respond, other than just,
They're busy.
yeah, they're busy. One firm said that
They're
they,
busy, yeah.
you know, their fees would probably be agreeable to us, so they opted not to respond, but that's really all the information I have on that. So again, after completing reviews, we felt comfortable moving forward with Ty and Bond for this $241,500 consulting agreement.
Any comments?
Could we just get an overview just of the project? And
This is so the overview is, this is the extension of phase 1 and phase 2, and this is phase 3. So phase 1 was from Chamber Street Chamber Street to Fairchild Avenue. And then phase 2 was from Fairchild Avenue to technically till that Will Avenue is, the Will Avenue where it cuts off to the Will Avenue, that was phase 2. And the remaining is phase 3. Phase 3 is like a triangle between Tungus Hill, the Will Avenue, and Kings Highway. So it's a triangle, that is phase 3. So that's the extension of phase 1 and phase 2, which was already completed by Ty and Bond previously, and they have applied for phase 3 as well. So we think the Ty and Bond should this one. So now this one, we applied for lots of application. Bill applied for lots of application years ago, and we got the lots of.
How much? 1.9 million, right?
For
Yeah.
lots of. This will include the geometric improvements along Kings Highway. They're trying to bring 2 lanes into 1 lane to apply the road diet into that. We will investigate before we go to that route, so that's a proposal towards this application. Another improvement is pedestrian improvement. This is heavy pedestrian oriented area. Is there a lot of grocery stores over there? It's a heavily dense. There's a Stop and Shop and other stores around it. And then another one is the traffic signal replacement. There's an upgrade. That is a DOT traffic signal that is required to be upgraded. So these are the 3 main areas that are focused around the improvements.
And none of the 1.9 million has been spent yet, right?
Yes, exactly.
So this is the design phase, and I recall, I think Bill told me that you got $300,000.
$300,000 has been approved from non-recurring fund. That is not part of lot SIP. It's $300,000 only for design, non-recurring fund, which will be used towards this designing phase only.
So, and this is the last, wait, no, this is, I'm sorry, how many more phases after this?
This is only last phase 3 for lot SIP.
Right,
for
okay.
Kings Highway.
Okay.
Yes.
You'll have enough money for the design that's
We
been.
have, Tyne Bond has applied $251, so
Yeah.
$300,000 we have.
Okay.
We are in budget.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I'm just reading through the proposal. Can you just speak to the as-built survey?
Yes.
Time bond it wasn't required for the prior phase that they worked on, and the need of it now, and that's not included in their, was that included in their
Yes.
original price, or was that going to be?
As-built is, we always suggest including as-built because we want to know after the construction that first of all, if the construction was done properly according to the design plans. And if anything has been changed in the design plan, as-built survey plans always reflect those changes. So it's a very good, should have an as-built plan because years from, let's say from 10 years or 5 years after, we don't have an as-built plan, nobody knows what improvements were done in this section. And then the town has to pay again for the survey work. So if you have an as-built plan, we can track the changes from the design and what was done during the construction because construction can change certain things which may be not practical to apply when they are doing the construction from the design. So as-built is always should have. Now, I am not sure if state requires that as-built. I don't know. Sometimes state does require that you have to have an as-built. For this one, I'm not sure if this is a requirement, but we should have an as-built.
And that survey is included in this 240?
Yes, it is.
But we didn't have the survey for the prior 2 phases?
We do have a survey for prior to.
Okay, I thought, I must have misread that.
But this part is, we don't have a survey, so survey will be done before
Okay.
the designing. And after construction is completed, we will have another as-built survey. We'll track the changes. Usually as-built just shows the construction that has been done, what you have exactly done from the design.
And in terms of their phases, the Rooster River, how does that play in that project potentially? There's a lot going on in that part of town.
Rooster River is separate from.
But could this project affect drainage, which could then potentially?
No, this
Okay.
won't affect any drainage. It's only during curbing or sidewalks layout, it's only the catch basins, the grading, but it will not affect the drainage.
You just hear people like, everything was fine until, they improved this road and now water is flowing in a different direction.
This is a roadway improvement, so.
Okay, and in terms of notifying the public and local businesses this project is happening and getting their feedback once the, first draft plan, the preliminary plan is put forward, what process do you foresee the town taking in order
Yes, we will have
to?
public meetings after our design is agreed upon by state and the town and the MetroCog. Once we decide this is what we are going to propose, we will have a meeting for this one. And I think it's part of the proposal too, of the public meeting. Let me check 1 minute. So we should be.
And I saw that it was that the time bond
Yeah.
would, but it was more that they wouldn't necessarily be responsible for reaching out to the neighbors, to local businesses. That would be more of a cost the town would need to bear, any kind of mailings.
Yes, this is part of tie and bond scope as well. So
Okay.
when we reach to 30% preliminary design plans, when that phase will happen, because at that point we have decided what we are proposing at this location. At that time, we will require public involvement meeting. That is part of the LOTSIP program. And public informational meeting will be required at when 30% preliminary designs are completed, and consultants shall assist the town in presentation, attending meetings, documenting meeting minutes, notification, and analyzing the feedbacks. So that's part of tie and bond we have under this scope as well. It could be possible that we do it ourselves in-house. We don't need a tie and bond to do all this, but we have kept it as a scope in case we need them for any kind of assistance at that time, putting presentations or and analyzing the feedback. Once we get the feedback from the public, we will have to analyze the feedback as well to fit it in the design. Maybe they're not liking the design, or we have to modify the design work. So that will all be incorporated during that.
Last question right now. The Bike and Pedestrian Commission, do you foresee them getting involved at all in terms of feedback, being that we're also looking at sidewalks, potentially having bike lanes? Are they involved, or that would
Yes,
just be part of the public meetings for their opportunity?
They will be part of public meetings. They will be involved as other everyone's feedback at that point.
I don't think that's up for me right now.
Woman Kupchak, any comments?
No, just that I'm glad to see that this final stage is happening. I would, Christine, encourage you to go take a look over there. You know, it's just going to be like the other two phases, all the brick and you know, pressing up that whole area that's, you know, was really depressed for many, many years. It's just extending it, adding the additional sidewalk, beautifying the area, making it a little safer.
You know, I've definitely, having spent many meetings at the Board of Ed offices on Kings Highway, and familiar with the improvements thus far, and it does look beautiful, and it's exciting to see this continue on. In terms of the traffic study, will the town have give any guidance about timing for when this study would be taking place? Just thinking about, you know, making sure it's being done while school's in session.
Yes, so that's a good question. Yes, we will, that's a data collection and traffic investigation phase that falls under task 2.
Yep.
For tie and bond. Yes, that we will be deciding during our scheduled kickoff meetings at how they will be collecting the data, and definitely part of the school when the school is in session and when there's pedestrian volumes around that area.
Just knowing, like, if this gets approved and gets started sooner rather than later, the traffic during the summer might be different than, you know, what happens while school is in session.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Unanimous. Thank you. You're probably going to stick around, right?
Yes.
Purchasing Authority, number 7, to hear, consider, and act on authorizing the purchasing authority to enter into the proposed agreement with Palmieri Farm LLC of Easton, Connecticut, to provide labor, materials, equipment, and all else necessary to perform 4 culvert repairs projects at Hillside north of Verna Hill, Merwin's Lane, Greenfield Hill Road, and Governor's Lane per town bid 2024-54, and Palmieri, a bid proposal dated March 6, 2024, for a total contract amount of $77,020, with additional authority to enter into approved change orders up to 10% of the original contract value. Funding for this project is available on account 1005030-57150-80080, Storm Ida repairs. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second that?
Adam, you want to start?
Yeah, starting again, Adam Toolin, Purchasing Director. We put out bid number 2024-54. As mentioned in the resolution, we got 3 responses. Palmieri Farm was the low bidder. There was a scope review, scope review done. About 3 weeks ago. But I think the big question was they're significantly lower than the other 2 bidders, so we just wanted to make sure that everyone was on the same page as far as what the scope is. We felt comfortable with them after that scope review, so a lower recommendation was made. This is funded through FEMA.
Yes,
right?
it is through FEMA.
So maybe I can speak more to the projects. These are very small.
These are small culvert repair programs, so FEMA funded this money. Last year we went for the inspection work for all the 4 locations that are the locations, right? We have Hillside Road, Governor's Lane, Greenfield Hill Road, Marvin's Lane. So we went to the inspections, and there were some erosion scour problems that were going around the culvert areas that needs to be repaired. So just filling up those voids to take care of the scour that happened due to FEMA Ida hurricane that happened due to high velocity that it scoured so much that it created so many holes around that.
You know, are all these culverts on public property, or any of them?
They are in towns right away, not in.
Oh, in the towns right away.
It's in towns right away.
Okay.
Not in private right away.
Okay.
The FEMA only funds towns right away.
Okay. Any comments?
No, this is my neighborhood, and that's very happy to see this work being done. The water coming during that hurricane, the little tiny stream really was a raging river, and we'll be supporting this today.
Selectwoman Kupchak?
Thank you, Mr. Gerber. Adam, why was the bid so much lower than the others? Was there a reason for that?
Well, I know certainly what helps is that they came in under the $100,000 prevailing wage threshold, so that you can basically immediately add 20 to 30% once you cross 100,000.
Right.
Did you come up with anything in the scope review that might indicate why they're so much lower?
Not really. They were unbalanced bids for sure. There were a few locations that we noticed that they were not balanced right, but the scope of work, I didn't see much inconsistency.
Actually, I know the reason. Bill Hermley Engineering. On that one there, the other reason is that they're very local. They're out of Easton, and his subcontractor is from Fairfield. So they were very local, so that's a low mobilization. And as Adam pointed out, they're below the prevailing wage threshold. So those 2 reasons why. Purchasing, DPW, and engineering all vetted the contractors. Their proposals.
Thank you. Yes, I'm familiar with Palmieri. They've done a lot of work for the town. They did all the work in front of the community theater. That will help us with that work. So they're under the prevailing wage, and that's why they obviously that bumps it up huge.
Yeah, because even if they had been, 90,000, we probably would have applied prevailing wage rates at that point. Just, you want to have sort of a buffer. So that's really, in my view, one of the biggest drivers there. It becomes much closer if you sort of account for that extra 20-30%.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you. Item number 8. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Megan. Water Pollution Control Authority to hear, consider, and act on authorizing a service agreement between the WPCF and Trojan Technologies Group LLC. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Bodie.
Hello, thanks for having me. This is a service contract between us and Trojan Technologies to cover our UV disinfection system, which is the most crucial, critical piece of equipment at the plant. It disinfects the water before it goes out to Long Island Sound. This was installed in the 2000 upgrade. It is now obsolete. It's not supported. Consumables are still available, but as the more critical parts get purchased, they may not be available. So this is for $8,046 per year. It will afford us a Trojan-trained technician to come in, look at the equipment, check electrical connections, get input from us as any issues we're having. It's not payable until after they make a visit. We can cancel at any time. We don't have to do 2 per year. We can hybrid it if we want to. It also affords us 10% on our parts, our consumable parts, which for the first year is a savings of $7,600. So we save on the parts. The cost of the contract is $8,046. It's almost a wash. But because it's obsolete, because it was identified in the equipment audit by Woodard and Curran that it's critical and on the high priority list, we thought it prudent to have it looked at, have its health verified so we don't run into trouble.
Wait, I'm sorry, the UV system is what sort of kills the microbes, right? Yeah.
That's correct.
And it's obsolete. Does that mean the microbes aren't currently getting?
There's been so many improvements made that it's still a highly functioning piece of equipment, and there are a lot of them around the country, and there are places that are not looking to replace this because it's so good. But there's no redundancy. That if that fails, yeah, I don't want to say it.
Any comments? Selectman Kupchak, no. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you, John. I think you have
I got
one more.
Yep.
Yeah. Item number 9. Water Pollution Control Authority requires Board of Finance and RTM approval to hear, consider, and act on appropriating funding of up to $106,000 from the WPCA fund balance for the purchase of 15 smart cover flow monitoring devices. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, John.
Okay, we're going to talk about I&I again. It's been a hot topic. The Water Pollution Control Authority has made this a priority going back a few years, and it's really ramping up. And we looked at these. We had a presentation on these. It's something we can purchase, something we can attach to a manhole. We can place them where we want them and monitor. They monitor the rain for us. They monitor the tidal stuff, and going by the knowledge that our road crew has to say, we think this is a bad area. We put the covers there and we start investigating. And if it doesn't seem like it's picking it up, then we can move. So the hope is to get enough data where we can react to some of the issues and investigate. So when it comes time for the big-time engineering firms to come in and do a comprehensive thing, we could say, listen, we've been looking at this for 3, 4, 8, a year. This is the area to focus on. Everything is included, it's satellite-based, so there's no cell phone issues. We did not get pricing on cellular devices, just for the simple fact is, when there's a storm, we need the data all the time. This fits right to the manhole cover. If we find it's not working, 2 guys can go out, lift it up, put a regular manhole on it, move it somewhere, drop it in, call the company up, say it's now here, the pipe is this, and then change it, and then we start collecting data on that point. We can see when there's a rain event, if we've got the cover here and the immediate result is seen, that the level comes up, we know we're close. If it takes a while, then we know we have to start branching out. So it would be a good tool for our guys that have the knowledge to try and focus in, and then when the engineering and we start really putting the money to it, with the money that we're asking for, we can really go after it.
So there's a lot of discussion about measuring the total capacity used at the plant during normal days and during storm days. And you do that regularly to get the total difference.
It's hard to say, okay, we had a 2-inch rainstorm, we're gonna go up X amount of gallons. Just because it all depends on the amount of rain prior, how much the ground has in it.
Right.
So there's really no direct correlation. I will say that the first quarter of the year, we had 20 inches of rain. We have not been at 9 million gallons a day or less for a total of 14 days. So we were at our capacity, or at our design flow, for 14 days out of the first quarter. So it's been a rainy year, and you can tell. And it's hard to gauge it, as I said, because in between the rainstorms, we don't have that much respite and everything. It starts coming down and then it ramps up again. So to answer your question, there's no correlation between rainfall and actual results at the plant.
Well, there'd be some correlation, right? Not exact correlation.
You can't say because of this, we're gonna see this.
Right, but do you track, is that like a matter of course, do you track that and rainfall, well, the rainfall?
Yes, I can give you rainfall data and plant.
And plant capacity data,
Yes.
and then you would also track the flow data in individual segments through these new,
Yes,
through these new devices?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
You're on the WPCA.
WPCA approved this, unanimously approved this. Excited about just getting additional data to address the I&I, especially as we're looking at major improvements. It'll enable us to prioritize, areas of the system that need to be addressed sooner rather than later.
Will you be doing, like, I've heard about the smoke tests that they do. Do you still do those, or?
We don't do them, but that would be something through the next phase, if so deemed. They did it this last time, and they did catch some gutters and some sump pumps. We cannot say you have to remove this.
Right.
We can make the suggestion, you're really not supposed to have that hooked up, but whether they disconnect or not is not.
But since these go under manholes, these would be, you can't get there are certain segments where you can measure it, but it's more like a segment as opposed to a specific house or something, right?
Yes, right. Yeah, and the nice thing about the sensor actually that hangs down and measures the level of the water, it will do it that way, and if the manhole floods, it goes to a pressure transducer so it doesn't lose its ability. If it's flooded, it'll still tell you what kind of flow you've got going through there. And all this gets put into a database, and this will be stuff that we'll have forever.
Right.
It will help contractors as well.
It'll help pinpoint some of the problem areas. Okay. Selectwoman Kupchak, anything?
I just want to say that I'm glad that we're finally moving on this, John. We were talking about this for a long time. I know it takes a long time, but I had never even understood I&I or any of that until Buck explained it to me and said we were potentially losing a lot of, when they were talking about the sewer tax. You remember that meeting we had years ago, and so concerned about, having to unnecessarily tax our residents for our processing water, essentially, right? So this really, hopefully, will identify those leaks and save money down the road, save the residents money down the road from having to be unnecessarily have that usage tax. So looking forward to it. Good job.
We're very excited, very excited.
I know you are. You've been working hard on it, I know.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too.
Item number 10, Fire Chief, to hear, consider, and act on authorizing the first selectman to enter into an equipment rental agreement between the town of Fairfield and Sea Support, Inc. for the lease of a 2005 Safe Boats International 25-foot Defendant and a 2015 Easy Loader trailer. Funding for this agreement is available on account 36001 330-58380-risk fund. May I have a motion?
So moved. I'll second.
Chief.
Dennis McCarthy, Fire Chief. So what you have before you is a lease agreement that's been reviewed by the town attorney, changes made as a result of that review. And this is a repeat of a lease that we entered into last year as a result of the sinking of the primary fire rescue boat. It is in Watertown, New York now, undergoing extensive renovations. It will not be available for service this boating season. And in order to maintain our capacity on the water, we request funding or the contract to be approved for this purpose. And we will keep the unit until November, so there'll be a $35,000 cost, and it will be assigned to the insurance reserve fund.
Yeah, so next year we have you're expecting to have the Fairfield boat back.
Correct.
Any questions from the board?
Chief, did we ever, I kind of remember, did we ever get the report back about why the boat sunk? What happened?
So the combination of wind direction and extraordinary cold weather, that was the one time in 2022 when we had a 0-degree day. And the way the boat is moored at the South Benson Marina, it took on water, the scuppers froze, and it took on water in the transom and sank as a result of the water weight in the transom of the boat.
Thank you, Chief.
So are there ways to protect against that in the future?
Yes, so part of the responsibility, the investigator that was hired by our insurance company cited the old design of the scuppers as being not current to today's standard. So they required that in the renovation, it is going to, the insurance coverage is somewhere north of $425,000 for the repair of the boat. The town of Fairfield is responsible for replacing the scuppers with the modern design, as well as a seal on a dive door. We're actually taking the dive door out and not replacing it. But yes, the scuppers replacement will be our responsibility.
You know how much that's going to be, or?
Yeah, minimal. I mean, this is
So most of it's covered by
Yeah.
insurance? Okay, yeah. I remember.
Just for the record, we are waiting for the final estimate. We got an estimate for the repair. Our mechanic and marine officer went up and met with the representatives at Metalcraft in Watertown, New York, and They are working up a final design, and we expect a revised cost estimate to come out of that, which we still have to deal with risk management and the finance department. It is an open question. The initial estimate was $435,000, but it's subject to change as they get into the final design of the repairs.
Any comments? Any other comments from the board? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Moving on to item number 11, refunds tax collector to consider and act upon tax refunds as recommended by the tax collector in the amount of $12,291.75. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, back to the board. All in favor, say aye.
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 This passes unanimously. So item number 12, is Phil Piers on the line?
Not see him.
Can you text Phil? He's supposed to be here.
Go sneeze.
Can we take a couple minute break while we try to get a hold of Phil and see where he is? Well, I hope he's okay.
You said he can call in 5 minutes, he's finishing the meeting.
In 5 minutes?
Do you want to recess for 5 minutes?
Yeah, let's recess for 5 minutes. Town attorney, if that's okay with you, Brenda?
Yeah, that's fine.
Christine? Okay, let's recess for 5 minutes and we will come back and then we will just be voting to go into executive session at that point.
Very good.
Okay, so Selectwoman Kupchak, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So we are, item number 12, Town Attorney, Executive Session with Town Attorney Philip Pierce to discuss pending litigation, Garden Homes Management Corporation et al. Versus Fairfield Town Plan and Zoning Commission. We need to take a vote to go into executive session.
Second.
I make a motion to go into executive session, and inviting Attorney Philip Pierce to discuss pending litigation from Garden Homes Management Corporation et al. Versus Fairfield Town Plan and Zoning Commission.
Second. Okay, let's go into executive session.
Vote.
Yeah. Just vote.
Recording
Have you ever
stopped.
done it?
Recording in
Can we,
progress.
all in favor say aye?
Aye. And then, okay, so there's nobody from the public. Can you?
Recording stopped.
Okay, great.
Go ahead.
So do you want to second that, Brenda? or-
Yes, sorry.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right.
Recording
Have a
stopped.
good night, everyone.
You too.
Just so you guys, I'm